Hello, Fish Faithful. Welcome to Marlins Daily here on the Fan Arch Sports Network. I am Kurt Semder, and we're going to start today with something that I don't think a lot of Marlins fans expected to hear anyone say the way this season started, but the Marlins have won 20 games in a month. You heard that right. 20 games in a month. Miami beat the Rockies on Tuesday night last night to improve to 20-6 in the month of June. That is a franchise record. That is the best monthly record in baseball this season. I mean, that is just some impressive stuff. The Brewers went 19-7 in May. The Braves went 19-8 in April. But the Marlins able to get to that 20-win mark in a single month, and they've been doing it with impressive wins, just like the one that they got on Tuesday night. I mean, take a look at this team when you really think about it. They had 26 wins in the first 2+ months alone, and now 20 wins in this month have catapulted them into contention in the division for the wild card spot, for a chance at the playoffs, and have completely changed the conversation when we talk about the Marlins season. Now, in this game against the Rockies, they were able to win because of many different things. They really did everything well in this game. And one of the big reasons that they were able to get the win was the offense, which stepped it up once again. Yet another double-digit run effort and production from this lineup. The Bats got right to work in this game. Kyle Stowers got a triple. Griffin Conine with an RBI double. That was the first of his 4-hit game. His first career 4-hit game, actually, for this one. And the Marlins just kept on adding and adding from there. In the third inning, Javier Sanoa continued his hot hitting. He hit a 2-out, 3-run homer, just crushed a hanging slider for his third home run of the season, put the Marlins ahead 5-1, and then they just kept going and going from there. In the sixth inning, they had 3 2-out RBI singles, Kyle Stowers, Griffin Conine, and Xavier Edwards all coming through. That clutch hitting, that hitting with runners in scoring position, was huge in this game, especially the 2-out hitting. That was very important. You see so often teams that just aren't able to get it done when they are down to their final out in an inning, but the Marlins in this game really came through when they needed to, and they were able to just continue extending that lead. They were up 8-1, adding some home runs late in the game. Joe Mack, a 2-run homer. Owen Casey, a 3-run blast in the 8th. It all adds up to a blowout win for the Marlins, and just yet another solid effort from a team that just continues to roll. They've now won 10 of 12. Again, 20 wins in a single month, and they are right where they need to be, and they're getting better. Liam Hicks came back from the injured list. He was at the top of the lineup. They got all of these hits, even with Otto Lopez getting a rare night off, so the National League batting leader wasn't even involved in this game last night. Big win, as we mentioned, though, for Miami, as they finished the month very strong, 20-6 for June, and now we'll look to continue that going forward into the month of July. Now, we mentioned that there were a lot of reasons why this happened. Another of those reasons was the starting pitching and the performance of Yuri Perez, who made his second start back from the injured list, and he was in command from the beginning. You know, you had some concerns, obviously, at a place like Coors Field. We heard from Sandy Alcantara the other night that he struggled with his command. He struggled with the grip and the breathing. It didn't really seem to be much of a problem for Yuri Perez in this game. He was efficient in his first start back against Texas last week. In this one, though, 8 strikeouts, just 4 walks, most of them coming late in the start as he started to get tired. Only gave up 2 hits, though, and 1 run on a solo homer by Mickey Moniak. Again, what you want from your starting pitcher in any game, but it's especially impressive that he was able to be this effective and this dominant at Coors Field, where almost no pitchers are able to be that dominant and that good. He got the job done, though, was able to pitch into the 6th inning, gave it off to the Marlins bullpen, who took it from there as they went off and got yet another big win here. And it just continues that trend that we've seen from Marlins starting pitching, where they have been able to pitch into the 6th inning or 7th inning and just be very, very efficient, but also very, very effective. And if the offense is able to continue to produce the way they have and keep this thing going, you're looking at the type of streak that the Marlins can kind of keep going here into the summer. This wasn't happening in the first 2 months of the season. The pitching was terrible. They just were not able to stay in games. The offense was slow and unable to produce. A complete turnaround, a complete 360 is what we're seeing here on pretty much all facets, and it has resulted in Miami being right in the thick, as we mentioned, of the playoff race. And now that the Marlins are in the thick of the playoff race, you have to start to look ahead. And you have to start to look ahead to the trade deadline. And with the trade deadline coming up, we were talking about what the Marlins are going to do, and they've always been a team that, trades off their best players. We've seen it time and time again. You can go down the list of big names that this franchise has traded away when you felt like they were building something big. Right now, it looks as though, and again, the deadline is a month away, but it looks like the Marlins should be buyers at the deadline and not sellers. And with that in mind, you have to start to look at what this team kind of needs and what they should be looking to add. And taking a quick look at the team, there are a couple of different areas that I think they need to make some improvements in, but the glaring need, I think, for them right now is a corner infielder, and especially at third base, where right now they're not getting a lot of production, some of the worst production in all of baseball. It's a spot that they can improve upon if they can just go out there and find the right player, find the right fit, and boost that lineup, give them maybe a little bit more power, give them a little bit more pop if they can get that. But there are some players out there, too, that will allow them to keep that versatility that manager Clayton McCullough really likes to have when he is able to move people around in the lineup and during the course of a game. And for team president Peter Bendix, one of the players I think he might want to take a close look at, and it's someone I've heard mentioned before in other places, and that is Isaac Paredes of the Houston Astros. He is a player that kind of checks off a lot of the boxes that the Marlins are going to be looking for. And there's a lot of question about whether or not he's going to be available. The Astros are still in contention. They are still have a feeling that they can win the American League West or even get into an AL wild card. But Paredes is a player who they might be able to part with, and they might be looking to move to improve their ball club and improve their chances. So why is he somebody who perhaps the Marlins should look at? Well, let's take a quick look at the numbers he's had so far. Entering Tuesday, batting .253, 11 home runs, 45 RBI, and 73 hits. That is definitely an upgrade over what the Marlins have at that position right now. So he'd be a big boost for them in their lineup. Another thing, and this always comes up when you talk about the Marlins, the finances. He's got a very good contract going forward. There's a club option for next season, that club option for $13.5 million. That's extremely reasonable. It's the kind of thing that any team should be able to afford if they choose to bring a player of his caliber back. But because there is some team control for next year, you have to take that into consideration when you're trying to trade for someone that you're going to have to give something up to get him. The Astros are definitely not going to give away a player like that. You might have to give up one of those top prospects, maybe not your top prospect, but, the Marlins did just have 4 of their prospects ranked in MLB Pipeline's top 100. So they do have some guys that you might be looking at to potentially move to improve the ball club this season. And for Paredes, not only does he play third base, he plays first base as well. He plays second base. He can move around. He can take over those positions, also DH if you need him to. Definitely a guy who could be in the mix for the Marlins. The problem here that could come up, and the problem I see with a player like this, is that for the Astros, they may be looking to get back major league talent, major league ready talent in any kind of trade. They may be looking for someone who improves their ball club and helps them make their own playoff push. Miami doesn't have a ton of players that are major league ready that they are able to part with at this time. Depth has not exactly been their strongest suit at this point, other than the guys that are on their 26-man roster at the moment. So you look at it, you might have to give up one of your bullpen arms. Maybe you have to give up a pitcher. I don't think any of their starting pitchers would be available at this point, but you never know. I wouldn't move a guy like a Michael Peterson. He's just been fantastic. He's able to get both righties and lefties out of the bullpen. He's definitely a guy that teams are going to be asking about. Maybe you have to get rid of or move one of these position players or one of these young outfielders. I don't know what Houston would be asking for. But if you can make a move and get a guy like Paredes and bring him into your lineup and lengthen that Marlins lineup just a little bit more, that could really go a long way when we make our way towards the end of the season. And he's a guy who's got a lot of experience. He knows he's played in some big games, could bring a lot of help to your clubhouse as well. He's the kind of guy that Peter Bendix may want to take a close look at and see if he can bring him in and add him in come the trade deadline, which again is about a month away. And we'll take a look at some potential other trade targets as we make our way through here on Marlins Daily. But Isaac Paredes is definitely somebody that I would take a close look at as we make our way through, a kind of guy who can help the Marlins perhaps continue what they've been able to do so far this season. And the Marlins are going to be looking to continue doing this again as they take on the Rockies on Wednesday. And when they take on the Rockies later today, Max Meyer going to be on the mound. Meyer's going for history in this one. He is going for a 10-0 start to the season. That will be the best start in franchise history. No Marlins pitcher has ever started the year 10-0. And he has been just fantastic. He's been perfect out there. He's been pitching really well. Most of his wins, it's not a situation a lot of times where he's had to battle and the offense has picked him up. He's been just excellent out there. I've been saying it now that he deserves to be an all-star. And this is one of the main reasons why, not just because of the 10-0 record, but because he's got a great low ERA, a lot of strikeouts, definitely somebody you don't want to face if you're an opposing team. Meyer's going to have a challenge, as we've mentioned here, pitching at Coors Field on Wednesday. We're going to see how he handles that. We're going to have to see if he's able to get that thing done, though. Taking on a Rockies lineup that Miami's been able to kind of handle through the first two games of this series. And we're going to see if, because the calendar changes over to July, if that will change things for the Marlins or if they can keep things moving. If it's up to Miami and it's up to the Marlins right now, I think they would make it June 31st, June 32nd, June 33rd. Just keep calling it June, doing whatever it takes to keep the good times rolling. Because as we mentioned at the top of this program today, 20 wins in a month. Can't say it enough, because it is just such an impressive achievement. But again, the Marlins coming off a big win over the Rockies, going to look to try to keep that going and get another win here. And again, here on Marlins Daily, we will let you know and talk about how they did and how Max Meyer performed as he went for 10-0 against the Rockies on Wednesday. And we'll see you tomorrow right here on Marlins Daily. Make sure you like and subscribe here on YouTube, and we'll see you then.